I really like, as we said, Terra Formars. Terra Formars is great action.
That was a great manga.
Yeah.
But like, the story is kind of meh at times.
Yeah.
But the action is spot on. It's so cool. We've spoken about Terra Formars before, but Terra Formars is just it's a manga which is one of my favorites, and it has like a ridiculous amount of chapters. I think like 400 something. I think it has.
It's like
It has a
30.
lot.
It's almost 30 volumes, I think.
Yeah, and it's like I think they just started a new arc.
Yeah.
When I stopped reading it, and it felt like it was going to be the last and biggest arc, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck me."
I think it's already finished.
Is it finished?
I think.
Has it?
I don't know.
No way. Because when
I only read up to around like volume like 11 or 12.
So the concept of Terra Formars, which dude, I was so fucking sold on this concept because I was like, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So they sent a mission to explore the moon.
Yeah.
And when they got there was cockroaches that were just ripped. Like
Giga Chad.
like Giga Chad cockroaches.
Someone had shot their fridge into the moon and it had cockroach on it.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. It's like Giga Chad cockroaches. I know we've spoken about Terra Formars before on like the third episode or something.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so there's cockroaches on the moon, and turns out they're not just any normal cockroaches. They're Giga Chad cockroaches that are like superhuman beings, super smart, but have the senses of cockroaches.
Yeah.
So this whole team dies that goes there, and you see this right away, so it's not a spoiler. So that then Earth goes and they're like, we must do something. So they go and get warriors or people they think are worthy to fight, and they inject them or in their DNA with insect DNA.
Yeah, insect DNA.
So each one of them has insect attributes. So one of them is like a praying mantis mixed with a human, and so he can punch really like lightning fast.
Or like one of them, I think they inject it with like a flea so they can jump really
yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
high. Yeah.
And this was when I was sold. One of them got the what's it called? It's the shrimp that can like flick. At like
the punching
the
shrimp.
mantis shrimp.
The mantis shrimp. Yeah, yeah.
It's the mantis shrimp that can break glass by flicking the air in front of it. And, and I was like, oh shit, I know the mantis shrimp is badass. And so then they send them to the moon to go and do research and fight back against
the Giga Chads.
And it's so fucking cool because then it turns into like a political thing because obviously if there's shit on the moon, there's going to be a lot of countries arguing about what's going on there and who did it, how is this here. How many chapters does it have?
22 volumes.
22 volumes.
Okay.
Is it over or is it still going?
It's 2000. Yeah, it's over.
Okay.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I need to finish it then.
Well, I guess this is just Connor needs to catch up to manga
I read
episode.
it 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was still ongoing.
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah.
When did it end?
A couple of years ago, right?
2014.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I think it started in 2014, didn't it?
It started in 2011.
Oh shit.
Wait, when did it finish?
2014.
Really? There's no way I could have read everything because when I finished reading it, it was not done.
Yeah, it was still going at that
Yeah.
point, I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
Are you sure it's over?
Yeah, let me check.
Either
Okay.
way, you need to catch up on it.
Yeah.
Either way, I need to catch up, and
Yeah.
it was such a fun manga. And if you like One Punch Man, I think you'll love Terra Formars.
I'm curious. How did you find Terra Formars? Because
I
most of
watched
these
the anime.
Oh, you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to
I'm
go through
so
that.
sorry. What convinced you from the anime to be like, I'll read the manga? Maybe the
Because-
manga.
Maybe the manga is better.
Yeah.
Okay, so Terra Formars had an anime adaptation, and it was notorious for being absolutely dreadful because what they did was they made this extremely gory anime, and they were like, "This is great. Let's just censor everything."
Yeah.
But they did it in the worst fucking way. They literally just put black dots and bars across the screen. So there were some scenes where you couldn't see anything.
It's literally infamous because I remember when it
Put
first
some screenshots on the screen.
Yeah, because I remember I read Terra Formars before the anime came out, and I was just like, how are they gonna adapt this? Because some of these scenes are pretty like brutal, pretty gory. Yeah. And then I saw that I think the famous scene is where like the cockroach is holding someone's head, and it's just, he's just holding a black dot.
circle.
Because dude, I'm still convinced, right? If this had like a good anime adaptation, like a solid animation, like not One Punch Man level, but close to it, right? Of the action scenes being done that well, this would be like fucking top 10 anime.
And that's why I was looking forward to it because I remember I got recommended the manga from like one of my friends who was like, dude, you have to fucking read this. Is amazing. I read it, I was like, whoa.
Because could you imagine the shock people would get when they're like, there's a scene, right, where it's very early on, so it's not really a spoiler, but one of the scenes, because all the teams drop in different locations on the moon, so you kind of get like play-by-plays of where all the different teams are on the moon. And one of the scenes where one team just goes out of the ship and immediately just they see a flash and someone's lost their head already.
Yeah.
And it's like, Holy shit.
And it was like right after she was injected as well.
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right, here comes the part where she kicks ass and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
immediately dies.
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit, they're stronger.
Yeah.
And it's like everything about this show is so hype.
Yeah.
And like reading the manga is like, okay, how are they going to build on this? And they just keep finding ways to make it more and more interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
And the art style is so good.
Dude, the art is so
The art
good.
is
The
so
art
good.
is so
It- Like the
good.
manga just never stops kicking off. It's like permanently just kicking off.
It's
There's
constantly
always-
popping off.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
always fights, and if there's not fights, there's some like Game of Thrones political shit going
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
yeah.
And it's like, all right, just because we're on the moon doesn't mean that China doesn't hate Russia. Like, it's like there's stuff going on, and then
Yeah.
it's like, it's so good,
Yeah.
and it's and I love how they introduce like. I love it when shows when there's a lot of characters that is like, this is the character, this is where they're from, this is their height, this is their ability, and you're like,
Yeah.
sick, thanks.
Yeah.
Now I can mentally remember that information.